Two Sheds Gabby back for another hunt. We're going to do a box of nickels today. I picked up this box of nickels in Crawfordsville, Indiana last week. Since then, we've had a biggest snow this little Louisville has had in a long time. There's several inches of snow, then a layer of ice, and then another inch or so of snow on top of that. I didn't go outside once yesterday, but today I ventured out and I took a bag of trash out to the can and some packages to the mailbox. The can only has one bag in it, so it's not going to go to the road this week. Let's get started on this hunt. Here's the first roll. We'll get started here, and I'm hoping to get a 2024 today. D would be great. I've gotten a few of them. And I'm hoping to get another silver to add to the two that I found a few days ago. That's so far my silver count for this year is 2. As soon as I venture out, which I don't know when that'll be, I hope to pick up a bag of dimes. I hear my loud wife in there. She waits for me to start a video and then she sees how loud she can get. That's not true. It just seems like it sometimes. Look at that. The very first roll is a 2009. Golly. Man, that's cool. 2009 D. How about them apples? That's a good start there. I was watching a show last night, and a lady told a joke while she was on a plane with somebody. And it's a joke that I used to tell. They've modified it a little bit. But when I told the joke, it was referring to a ethnicity. Imagine the people who were God's people in the Old Testament. We won't name any names. But she didn't use that in this one. And I was thinking about how we've reached a sensitivity point in this country where you can't say anything like that, you know. We used to tell Polish jokes and Jew jokes and all these different... And when I was a teenager or a kid, I never thought anything about it. I never thought less of that group of people. It was just a pun, you know. What do you guys think about that? Let me go to the next row. Okay, next row. I grew up in Kentucky, and we used to tell Hoosier jokes, Indiana jokes all the time, and they did the same. You know, they had hillbilly jokes, and I didn't. It's like I never thought worse of the people over there. It was just, you know, we liked the state we lived in, and we made fun of surroundings. I think they had Ohio jokes. In fact, one of them was something about, I think that person's a UNO. They're like, what? A UNO? Another nut from Ohio. And it's just silly stuff. But, you know, it's taboo anymore. I think it's kind of silly, but anyway. Let me tell you the joke, but I won't use any references to any group of people. You can put that in if you want to. This lady took her grandson to the beach, and they were sitting there. She had her book on and her little umbrella thingy over her, and her little grandson was sitting next to her with a little can, and he was making, you know, a snow sand castle. And just from out of nowhere, a big wave came in, knocked him down. I mean, it came in big time. And then when the water receded, she looked around, and her grandson was gone, nowhere to be seen. And she looked up into the heavens and raised her hands and says, "Oh, my Lord," said, "please do not take my grandson away. This This is terrible. Please give him back to me. And no sooner had she stopped talking than another big wave came in and knocked her down again. And she got up and was shaking off the water and looked around. And sure enough, right beside her was her little grandson sitting there unharmed. And she looked back up into heaven and raised her hands and said, he had a hat. Anyway, I always thought that was funny. And it was funny hearing it on the show. My wife said, I think she's telling your joke. How did she get that from me? It was modified a little bit, but no 2009 in that row, unless I got excited telling a joke and missed it. Well, this is the third row, and here's a 1951, and if it happens to be an S, that is a semi-key date. Oh, and it is, folks. 51S. That is so cool. I'm hoping the end of this week or the beginning of next week to get my mat made with the nickel mintages, and it'll be fun to look up and see how many were minted. It's the different coins you find. But that's cool. 51S. Cool beans. You know, when I was in college, I went to junior college and got an associate's degree. And there was a fellow there, trying to think of his name. I think it was Kaprowski. But he told me the funniest Polish jokes I'd ever heard. He thought they were hilarious, and he had a huge list of them. Oh, my goodness, they were funny. Wish I could remember them. I have a few, but, I can't tell them anymore. But, yeah, it's just it's become a thing from this country. You can't offend anybody, or you get slammed, They'd probably take me off of YouTube if I started telling jokes, ethnic jokes like that. Well, I certainly can't go through every single row like this, or this video will be over an hour. So I won't come back on until I get to something else. I just came to the back of one that looks kind of old, and just for fun, I thought we'd check it and see if it is. It might be a 64. Oh, no. Oh, it's a 42. Oh, and it's not silver. Well, that's a bummer. But it is a 42. Just the same. I'm on the 7th row. Haven't found anything else yet. I now come... Oh, what row am I in? I'm in like the 13th row. Here's a 1955, and the P is the low mintage date. And mine's a D. The D has 74 million. That's not a lot. And the P, the Philadelphia, only had 8 million made. 55D. I also found another one from 52 a little bit ago. Were you guys aware that in 1965, 66, and 67, they didn't put any of the mint marks on them to discourage coin collecting? Is that wild? The 65, it says they made 136 plus million. The 66, 156 plus million. And the 67 was 107 plus million. I guess that is for all three combined. It didn't really specify, but I believe that's what it's implying. That's not high mintage by any means at all. But it's so funny that they were discouraging coin collecting back then. And then they come along with the state's quarters to encourage coin collecting, Bizarre, different thought processes for different eras, I guess. The 2005, wasn't that for coin collecting too? The next row, I get my token Canadian nickel. I'm supposed to get one per box. In the last box I went through, I didn't get one, so maybe we'll get two this box. 1983 is this one. The guy that I watch every now and then, Ashland, Oregon Auctions. Yeah, he even uses my mats on his page, and I appreciate that. But I saw yesterday he got a silver ender. I haven't got one of those in a long time. Wartime silver ender. That was cool. 1959, Denver. I'm stacking these old nickels away. People all the time asking, why do you do that? And I like to. I don't, why do coin collectors collect certain things? I don't know. I like them. I like collecting the older nickels. This is the 16th row, and here is a 1954. And this one, okay, this one's D. In 54D, there was over 100 million of these made. But if you go back and look at the 50s and 40s, lots of the years and lots of the mintages did not have huge amounts of mintages, we're clamoring to get the 24s. A lot of them back then didn't have a lot more than that. And so, I think that there's a justification for collecting these guys, in my little old humble opinion. And it's kind of it's, for me, it's half hoarding, half collecting. It's sticking them away because they are copper and nickel, and they are worth over 5 cents each, and it'll only go up from there. But anyway, that's just me. I'm not trying to tell anybody else what to do. This is what I like to do. Check out this 2014. Is this something that happened during the mint process? Or is this something that just got a hold of it afterwards? I never know when they look like this. I'm just not sure. I will sit it aside and see if any of you all have an opinion before I chuck it in the box. This roll has had like 3 or 4 64s in it, kind of like the old days. There's another one. That's pretty neat. Look what I have here, guys. This is the 18th roll. I have not checked to see if there is a date. Pretty good bit of wear around the edge, so I wouldn't be super surprised if it didn't. But let's turn it over here and take a look. Ooh, that's that's pretty much gone. I don't even know if that liquid would retrieve that one. It might, I don't know. Anyway, it sure is fun finding these old things, whether they have a date or not. It's just part of our American heritage. It's just totally cool. Oh, there's another old one. 1940. That's the oldest I have been finding lately. Well, that buffalo there obviously is older. But I haven't found a 38 or 39 in a while. This one's Philadelphia. That's cool. The 1950, oh man. The D only had 9 million, and the Philadelphia only had 2+ million. It's like, that's low mintage. For sure. I'm in the 20th row. I'm getting close to halfway done already. Here's a 1947 I just came across. And is that a mint mark there? I don't believe it is, just a speck of something. 1947P looks like. All right. 64. So I'm still hope. Oh, that's a 57 right there. Denver. The two I'm still hoping for this box is a 24 and a wartime silver. That would just make my day there. The fourth row in the second half, and here is a 1946 Denver, I believe that says. 46 Denver. Also found a 52 a minute ago. So if you're not hoarding nickels now, will you begin hoarding nickels this year? There's still, the prices of nickel and copper have kind of maintained for a while. A nickel is still worth just barely over 6 cents, 5 cents in the copper and nickel content. Did you know they started making nickels in the 1860s? And one of the main reasons is because during the Civil War, everybody was hoarding and holding on to the gold and silver coins, and there was not enough coinage to go around, so they started minting the nickel to have more change, more money in circulation. Kind of a neat thing. They started out with the shield and did that for several years, and then they went to the barber or V nickel. Well, it's not a 2024, but look at this, guys. It's another 2009. Again, it's a D, but that's really cool. Yeah, it's fun finding those. I read an article a while back where a person said that they searched for several years and never found one. It's like, wow, I've done a lot better than that. Oh, I also found a 53 in the, I think the last row or the one before that. Denver. Did you guys know that the very first nickels they struck back from the shields back in the late 60s were made of the same thing they're made of today? 75% copper and 25% nickel. It's been like that all this time, of course, except for the wartime silver. Well, here's another roll that had 4 64s in it. It also had a 1953 Philadelphia. They're stacking up over here. The 50s are way more than the 40s this time. And it's a little afternoon. I'm starting to feel like Beldar Conehead. Lunch, 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 lunch. And now the 13th row in the second half. And we come to another 1946 Philadelphia. The 40s are way smaller stack than the 50s this time. Sometimes they're really close. So the last 2 days, I've made the birds and squirrels a bowl of popcorn, and we've eaten a little bit of it. My sister-in-law brought us from somewhere. It may have been an Amish store. I don't remember. A big bag of popcorn that are big kernels, you know. And it's really cool. They are big kernels, and they're good. But it's the most husks I've ever had in popcorn. It's too much. It kind of distracts from the enjoyment of the popcorn. There's so much of it. It's pretty wild. My wife went out and bought a bag of the small kernel popcorn, and it's like practically no husk. And in my opinion, it's more enjoyable. And so I may make another bowl for the birds and squirrels again, and I'll just eventually we eat some of it, like we'll make a big bowl and then set some aside for ourselves and butter it and salt it and give the rest to the aminals outside. Well, just 9 rows to go, and I found a 52 and a 53 just practically right next to each other with a 63 in between. The 52 is from Philadelphia, and the 53 is from Denver. Stacking more of those 50s up there. You know, the first nickel was made in 1966. But they did continue minting the half-dime silver until 1873, and then they quit making them. You know, the 2009s would make up if I don't get a 2024, but I need that silver one. This is the next row, folks, and I don't always keep the 64s, but check this one out. Golly. Oh, and of course I drop it. I do that every time. Well, all of the steps are not there, but that obverse is amazing. Even with the steps not all there, I'm going to have to keep this one. That's just too nice. Man. Yes, sir, Bob. Well, folks, just 3 rows to go after this. I'm running out of rolls to get my silver or my 2024 in. This guy is Philadelphia. Plus, I found a couple more from the 50s. Pretty tall stack there. Well, the next row, I found that second Canadian that I was kind of predicting. And it's a 1984 by George Orwell. Oh, is that another oldie? Nope, 64. A lot of them in this box. 2 more rolls. Well, nothing else in those last couple of rows, guys. I ended up with 20 for my older nickel hoard. Got a no-date Buffalo. But I found 2 2009s. That was pretty cool. And the super nice 64. I guess we're going to wrap it up here. And maybe tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be getting out or not. We're still got a lot of... My driveway is completely covered with snow and ice. I have not tackled it. I don't know if I want to. But I've got another box of pennies. They're customer rolled. And a few more boxes of nickels. I may just go and do another box of nickels because I think I've got 3 to go. That's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.